Thank you. I'm gonna read a sequence, and a sequence is a group of poems. And I'm gonna tell you the title, because when you read poems and they are on the page, you kind of know what's going on. Like, it's clear. But I have found out that sometimes when you're listening, you get a little, well, maybe it's just me, I get a little confused. So I'm going to read a sequence. I'm going to start off with a sequence of 5 poems, and it's called The Suicide's Girlfriends. And what that is, it is a poem written as a persona from 5 women who were the girlfriends of one single suicide. Okay. The first one is The Single Mother. I talked to this ghost of you, and even though you blew your brains out, I still see you whole. Still imagine that laugh of yours, or the low growl coming up in your throat when we wrangled in bed. 6 months in, I brought my son to your house to plant flowers in your backyard. You sat in a lawn chair and watched us mill the dirt around, shake the marigolds and petunias from their plastic six-packs. You were so happy, smiling that toothy smile at us, not wanting to help, but satisfied to see the bright glow in the store-bought potting soil. It seemed like such a small thing to me, and when you said you had never, ever planted flowers, I was both sadly stupefied and unreasonably happy. Afterwards, we washed our hands in the outside faucet, brushed off our shirts, and cleaned our already clean shoes because you asked. Inside, when you poured us drinks, my son spilled Hawaiian punch on the linoleum floor. You immediately reached for the paper towels, bending down to wipe that drop. You watched his every move after that, trailing him around the house with a cloth, ready to stem the imperfection of toddlers. I knew then, and grew further and farther away, knowing but unable to say, you had never put your hands in the dirt, you had never been allowed to spill the juice. The Narcissist. No one knows more about suicides than I. Beautiful and wild and just fucking crazy and cruel. Well, maybe that's me, but I can tell the stories of suicides like a pro. You were my second, and we were long over. My first, deep in the wild throes of a boiling love. You with your scalding sensibility left this world alone after a night of drinking hard and reading poetry, probably mine. You fucking bastards. My first one was the one that mattered to me. Sitting on the bed, he leaned in close to my face and said, "This is how you kill yourself," and stuck the gun under his chin and pulled the trigger. Pieces on the ceiling, pieces in my hair. My single scream went on for days, years. And you brought it back to me, and I think it was me you meant to hurt. I know you had your own torment, your own pain, but really, your suicide belonged to me. Gazelle for the Suicide Poet by the writer. I miss you now, and every time I think about dogs or coffee or writing, but you are gone. No more coffee for us. I'm left with just your writing. I was driving in my car when I got the call, speeding down Walnut Avenue, coming from the dentist, 2 fillings and a cleaning, thinking about writing. The voice on the phone was a woman who I had not seen in years and never liked, but I knew her through you and through her writing. After you died, I took so many walks through our wood, alone, in thought. I searched the damp ground for bones. I searched the sky for writing. In the car, I cried for what you never got to be. I pulled off the road, sat and scribbled. I could hardly speak. My tears informed my writing. Our great love turned into truer friendship. Our Sunday phone calls, our yearly visits will be missed. That and all the raw and honest letter writing. I wish you would have stayed a few more years. It's just a selfish want of mine. You were ready to lie down in earth. It shows so in your writing. the confused. Oh, blank. And I leave this space blank because your name means nothing and everything to me. You are the love of my life, and I just hated you. And you hated me. And we loved each other. No one else would understand. In your note, you wrote in pencil, "Tell her I died of a broken heart. Fuck you." And the last is the youngest. Nothing prepared me for your going. Black, black, shuttered heart, closed eyes. I sent you a postcard. I thought we might try again. I didn't know my leaving was the final act. Now, looking back, I know it was not me. I was just the last. So young, you left me thinking the fault was mine. Barely 20, barely yours. Was I the catalyst? Was I the cause? No. No, and when I asked about that coven of women from your past, you shushed me with your finger on my lips. I knew. I knew they had given up or strayed, or one day in your waking had simply gone away. But we never talked about them. So much we never talked about. Gone with you, gone, you. And the postcard I sent arrived in your mail the day after your gun told the rest of us goodbye. And for years, I believed it would have made the difference. And I'm going to read one piece of flash fiction. Fiction has been a new thing for me, and it's been really wonderful. This is called The Toll. He opened the brown paper bag. The only thing left from lunch was a smooth red tomato. He reached in and pulled it out, lifting it to his nose and smelling summer. The earthy smell of grass and dirt and vine all mingled up. He took one bite like he was eating an apple, then finished off the whole tomato, savoring it like something private and holy. He loved tomatoes. He tossed the paper bag in the can, took the broom, and started to sweep. Today he was sweeping from Pirates of the Caribbean to the Haunted Mansion. He smiled. Tuesdays were usually slow, and he felt the act itself, pushing the broom over and over, was like a prayer. "Excuse me, can you clean this up?" A woman stood next to one of the benches, 4 children buzzing around her. "I tried bringing healthy food, but they just don't want it." The woman grabbed one of the children and sat him down on the bench. "I think Disneyland is such an imaginative place for a child, but I want the kids to get their veggies." She squeezed sunscreen onto her hand and began applying it to the boy's face. He looked around. A plastic carton lay open, and cherry tomatoes had spilled onto the gray asphalt of the path. They dotted the ground like stars. To him, they were that beautiful. "Ma'am, just pick them up and wash them in that fountain," he said, pointing towards the mansion. "Nah, they're dirty, and the kids won't eat them. Just sweep them up, will you?" "No, ma'am. You need to wash these off." He couldn't believe what came out of his mouth. His job was to sweep, not argue. "Please," she said, "I'm not going to wash them. I have kids to take care of. You need to do your job." He looked down. Someone had already stepped on one of the small fruits, and it made a red smear on the ground the size of a child's fist. "Pick them up," he said. The woman turned to the children. "Let's go," her voice raised an octave. "Come on, kids." He said again, "Please, ma'am, just pick them up." His face smiled, but his voice did not. She looked at him. In her eyes, he could see she wanted to run. He looked at the children and knew she couldn't. The woman set her bag down. She reached for the carton and began picking up the tomatoes. He watched her stand, and he watched her as she towed 4 kids, her bag, and the small carton of fruit to the drinking fountain. He watched her wash them. And when she turned to see if he was watching, he tipped his hat at her. Then he watched her put the clean tomatoes in her bag and walk away. He started sweeping again, moving up towards pirates. He didn't know if she would report him. He didn't care. And then I'm going to read one more poem. And it's stout weather. This is one that James used to call my free bird, because I read it at every single poetry reading. And I thought, man, I thought that at some point I could give this up. And I'll tell you what, I'm just not ready. I'm not ready to give this poem up yet, so I'm going to read it. It's called Current. I jump in, the water covers me. I am being born. The water is air. I start to swim. I start to cry. I keep swimming. Some things die, but mostly things grow. Marigolds at the side of the house, puppies from the hunting dog that lives in the backyard. When I hurt, my mother says I have growing pains. I'm not popular, but I'm not the outcast. I'm not smart, but I'm not the idiot. I'm not even swimming, really. I'm doing the dog paddle. I stay afloat. In the 6th grade, I have knobby knees and long hair. I'm embarrassed most of the time in a general way. I sit outside at night and watch Venus rise. I go to Dairy Queen with my mom and dad. I keep swimming. Things are still dying or growing. I go to movies. I try a sip of bourbon. I get my high school pictures back. I shake the water out of my eyes. People swim alongside me sometimes, but mostly they don't. The water flows so fast. I choke on air. I love moving. Sometimes I'm so tired I don't move at all. Some days I go back. Some days I go forward, but I keep swimming. I write letters. I like the taste of stamps. I miss my mom and dad, but I live far away and don't call. I'm in a big place. I worry about freeway shootings. I swim away. I live where things are covered in fog. I can't tell the difference between the growing and the dying. I play pool or shop for postcards. I may still be having growing pains. I may be drowning. I may just be plain and average. I moved to a small place. I never drink champagne. I date sad men. I like addicts. I read books. I practice blowing out birthday candles. One day, I grow legs. I walk on land. I'm still not popular, but I'm still not the outcast. Once in a while, I have sex appeal. I watch my parents get old. I talk to them every day. I become patient. I understand the importance of photographs. I grow vegetables in the backyard. I keep walking. Sometimes I close my eyes when I eat. I chuckle when I'm by myself. I find people to walk with. I dance in the living room. I have a child. He is swimming. Thank you very much.